Hi, TikToker asked me on here how to breathe correctly when you sing. This is my fourth time recording this video because my other ones didn't save. But either way, I hope this video is useful. I'm kind of going to walk through the basics, and then if you have any questions, of course, you can comment or also comment with the video, and I can help hopefully further clarify if there's anything that does not make sense. So the first thing that's really important is that when you're singing, yes, of course, it's coming from your vocal folds, but your entire body is involved in this process. So if you have any tension in your body, you want to release it. You want to make sure your shoulders are relaxed. You want to make sure that the balls and the heels of your feet, the weight is even in the center of your feet. And you also want to make sure that you're not holding any tension, which a teacher can help you with, of course, but just things to think about. And then now I'm going to show you the answer to what you were asking me, which is a breath. So how do you breathe when you sing? So essentially what is happening is you're taking your breath and you want to make sure that you are expanding. As you breathe, the air is going to fill up, and that is what's going to cause the expansion. And as you are singing through the phrase, you're going to be utilizing your air. Therefore, you will reach a point which is called suspension, where the air that's coming in and the air that's leaving is essentially in equilibrium. So that's what's going to help you sustain the breath. And eventually, of course, you're going to run out of breath, which will ideally be after you finished a phrase or whatever part in the music that you're trying to sing. So first, I'm just going to show you up front or up close what the breath looks like. So you're going to go ahead, you can place your hand on your stomach or your abdominal region, as well as on the rib cage, because you really want to feel, as you inhale, you want to feel that rib cage expand. Another area that you can also place your hand on is the back, because you should feel expansion in all these regions. But to make it simple for this purpose of this video, I'm just going to show you on this side. So I'm going to inhale. And you're going to you see that expansion. And this is really, when you're singing, you really do not want to be conscientious of your abdominal region, any of that, because it's not going to always look very flattering. If you're inhaling or breathing correctly, you're going to expand in this region. That is completely normal. So if you have any reservations about that, just put that to the side. I'm just going to show you from this view as well. You can place your hands here. It's not the most comfortable. Just to really make sure that the rib cage is expanding. So you're going to inhale and you should feel it. You can see it better from this side. And I'm going to now step away from the camera so that you can see that your knees should not be locked. When you're singing or when you're breathing when you're singing, you do not want your knees to be locked. You want them to have a little bend in them. And you also want to make sure, again, that the weight is evenly distributed on your feet. And so again, I'm going to just go ahead and breathe. And as you breathe, the best breath is a surprise breath when you basically go. And it should be inaudible. So now I'm going to just demonstrate. When you're warming up, you typically want to start with low impact exercises, such as humming, buzzing. If you can lip trill, which is, you want to utilize that. Those are all really good warm-ups to warm up those vocal folds without shocking them, essentially. So I'm just going to do very basic exercise here. I'm going to show you the same exercise in the progression that I would do them, all within a small range, so not to take up a lot of time. So all while utilizing that breath. So you can also use pre-recorded audio. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube that you can use so that you don't have to worry about playing the piano, your breath, as well as hitting the pitches correctly, just as a side note. So I'm going to do the same exercise now on a vowel. So once you reach a point where you feel like you're warmed up, you hit your range, whether that's high or low or in the middle, whatever your range is, when you feel like it's a pretty good level of warmed up, you can then go ahead and start to work on vowels and consonants. So I'm going to use E as our vowel for this purpose of this exercise. So E, E, E. So this is just for breath that I'm focusing on in this video. I just want you to take note that as you're moving through this, you should focus on that rib cage expanding after you complete each exercise. So as you're moving up the scale or down the scale, depending on what you're doing, depending on what your range is, you should feel that expansion. It's essentially resetting. But depending if you're singing a phrase in a piece of music, that might not necessarily be at the end of, every 2 or 3 notes. There's going to be clear sections to which you need to reach. So that's where, utilizing that breath appropriately, not pushing. And what I mean by pushing is like you're out of breath and you're trying to really get to the end. You don't want to do that. You want to utilize the breath to get you to the points marked in your music that you're working on that you should be able to reach without having to take a new breath. And of course, if you do run out of air, there are areas you can take catch breaths as well. But that's more so a topic for studying pieces and how you would use the piece and use your breath to learn the piece as well. Hopefully that's helpful. But again, just remember, you are expanding as you inhale. And as you're singing, it's going to be in this equilibrium state. You're not going to come back. You do not come back all the way in before you have finished the stanza or the piece section within the piece of music that you're singing. Hopefully that's clear. If it's not, please comment, and then I will try and better explain what I just explained. But thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.